see like the form of her husband's face, ghostly outline reading it from one side of the screen, while we see like all of the characters gathered on the other side of the screen. Varosa, if you're reading this, then I am most likely already winking at Pharasma. Never before did I find my equal in greed and love of the sea, and I don't regret any of the scars you've given me. Since it seems I'm likely a dead man, I bequeath to you the last of my possessions of any worth. This odd little horn may seem broken and useless, but it's the key to the lost treasure of Gemma Redclaw. For safekeeping, I secured it with the guardian of the winds on this isle where I find myself marooned. It's part of a greater instrument. If you desire incredible wealth, retrieve it and then speak with Storm Eyes or Haircomb. You'll have to knock some heads together to get at the gold, but that's far from new for you. If I ever loved anyone, you were it, Captain Warvel.
That
Rose
is
like
romantic.
So she's like almost got a tear in there, but then she like stern eye gazes it, and it kind of like sucks back up into her eyeball.
Get back in that tear.
Aye, when my husband was stranded on an island he called Warvel's Folly, he wrote this note when he thought he was going to die there. He did manage to escape the island. Oh, I have no idea how. He said it was he used his back hairs to lash himself to a giant sea turtle. That seems kind of unlikely, though, given that his back is always waxed.
I scratched my back and I'm like, it seems plausible.
He kept the letter as a memento of his dedication to me, and I found it among his things after he died. I'm going to need your help to find each of the pieces, and that we can make more detailed plans as the Magpie Princess gets close to each piece.
Fair enough.
That'll do.
Do
If
you
there's
have any
coin in it.
questions?
Who did he say that we would have to storm something?
Storm Eyes and Harcalm. So she's like,
Storm-
aye, Storm Eyes and Harcalm. You see, there are 4 pieces to the 3 reasons to live, and the 3 captains divided it up between them. Storm Eyes and Harcalm have 2 of the other pieces.
Ah, okay.
The deal was, whichever one of the 3 of them lived the longest would pick it out from the other 2's dead bodies. And that person would be fabulously wealthy. Now, obviously, my husband is dead. But I intend to make sure the other 2 are equally so.
Works for
It's a
me.
simple plan.
I like the cut
Best
of your
plans
jib.
generally are simple.
That sounds like a good plan.
Okay, then. How?
Do we have any earthly idea where these other captains hail
Are.
from?
So she kind of like scratches her head and adjusts her hat, and it's like, I have a pretty good idea where they're located at, but you can understand if I'm unwilling to acquiesce to your request to share it at this present moment.
That's understandable.
Fair enough.
Oh,
Fair enough. Who's this guardian of the winds then?
Well, I should tell you that Guardian of the Winds is probably still there. We'll have to go to Walrus Folly and find out.
All right.
Warville, W-R-V-I-L-L-E. Is that what you're saying?
Warvil.
Okay.
He always used to make a joke about the lesser of 2 Warvils.
Wow.
When she
That
does
is
that,
alright.
she kind of looks out the back window of her cabin and puts a hand on a chair, and we get the sad music from Scrubs again.
That's a right terrible pun right there.
So when you say that, her hand starts edging towards the pistol on the table, and then she's like, no.
No offense to you, man.
You might not make it out of the first cutscene.
Wow.
That'd be a new record even for you, man.
Frostburn right there.
No offense to you, mum.
Uh-oh.
What's up?
Oh, just everybody froze and it went silent, I thought.
No, we all just
no.
stopped laughing at the same time.
Okay.
All right, the audience
That's not
really
weird or
wants us to do
anything.
some R's. Arr!
Yarr.
I'm not good at ours.
R's
Griffey.
and Lar!
Lar.
Lar.
Yarr. Anyway.
peep.
So she's looking at you guys, kind of sizing you up, and goes, "Well, I know y'all are newcomers, but you have earned some respect for defending the ship against Mother Grund and Hydek Snowfeather. You're still considered outsiders by most of the crew here. You might find it within a reasonable fashion. If you were to interact with the crew, I know that as specialists you have no technical jobs on the ship. You could spend your time aiding others in their jobs and speaking with them. Or if..." And she's looking at, like, Grajag. She's like, "If you aren't useful for anything, you can just sleep in the hold for all I care."
Just point me toward your gunner, Mum. I'll make myself useful.
He looks over your rifle and is like, "Aye, and what kind of rifle is that?"
Well, I picked this up off a truck, you see.
Truck.
I found it in the middle of the road before anybody else could gather it. It's my own personal design. Had strong-armed a wizard into enchanting it, but it is my very own musket. I love it very much.
I mean, obviously as a pirate, I don't have much trouble with you thieving, but you realize you just said you found it off the back of a truck and then you made it a personal design. You can understand why I might be skeptical as to the origin of the weapon in that case.
Well, it might be because my player hasn't thought that entirely out yet.
So she's like waving hers around. She's like, "Aye, well, I've got a 4710 Mustang single army action right here. Got it straight from Absalom." She's just waving it around. She's like, "I had the safety remove special."
I imagine everyone else is like ducking when it like swings
Yeah, oh,
past,
yeah.
and
When
Rafi
everything
is just
swings
sitting
this
there,
direction.
just like high as a kite on his hojo, and he's just like nothing. He doesn't even move when it swings.
Is the
over his
pistol
face.
even
It's
loaded?
like-
Yes.
It is
I
loaded?
bet it
Yeah.
is.
And so the
Yeah,
thing
Agrajag's
about this
ducking with the
pistol
rest
is
of them.
it's like a Derringer. So she's got like cartridges for it, but it's a single shot, so she just loads it fresh every time with new cartridges.
I think this is the 4708 model.
She's like, "So you found a 4708 in the middle of the road off the back of a truck of your personal design, and a wizard did it."
I'll get
Just
back
gets
to you
better
on
by
that.
the minute.
So she
I'll get back to you on
like
that.
she stands next to you and wraps her arm around your shoulder, and she's like, "Between you and me, I just want to let you know, lad, my alchemy lab's
Aye.
open to you if you require any more smithing services in regards to your gunsmithery. But if you steal anything on the ship, we're gonna definitely keelhaul you."
And then cut your hand off.
Understood, Mum. I'll be sure to pay the quartermaster
like
for
when
any
you
supplies.
whisper, "Cut your hands off," she's like, No, we wouldn't cut his hands off. No, you can't cut a gunslinger's hands off. You cut their eyes out."
That way, they're still useful at shooting.
Understood,
I
Mum.
get you.
I'll purchase all supplies from the quartermaster.
She says, "Well, it's gonna be about 2 days before we reach our next destination. You should probably, like I said, endear yourself to the crew, or not, if you prefer. Either way, try not to get into anybody else's business if you don't need to. Now get the hell out of my cabin."
All right.
Right.
So when you guys are leaving, you encounter the ship's first officer, a bard orator by the name of Heartbreak, or at least that's his pirate name. And she's like, "Heartbreak, get in here! It's time to write another poem." He's like, "Yes, ma'am."
I look at him and I'm just like, you're the one I have to compete with. Very well.
So he like looks you up and down and hooks his thumbs in his belt, and he's like, "Do we have to compete?"
Oh.
And he walks
I
right past you.
I look back at him and I'm like, I guess not. Oh, Rafi believes that it could be workable. And maybe I walk back in there.
He shuts the door in your face.
Yeah. Probably has to work up to that one.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I will attempt to use an unseen servant to fetch and carry and move and haul for the crew and try to make
Alright.
myself useful.
Let me introduce the NPCs to you, and we're gonna do this in Far Cry style cinematic tutorial.
Okay.
So we've got like a camera rotating around the ship as it sails, and there's a voice that's just talking to you in your heads, and you're like, "Where the hell's this voice coming from?" And
Sounds a lot like
the
Arthur.
voice, yeah, it sounds a lot like me. And the voice says, "There are 11 significant NPCs among the crew. You've already met 2, Captain Verosa Lanteri and Jaspin Heartbreak Kinson. There's also Vance and Creed. These 3 form the officers' corps." And then it kind of zooms in on 8 specific people. They like light up with a yellow outline around them. And the narrator's like, "These 8 crew members are what you might consider non-commissioned officers." And then like around one of the yellow outlined people is a male half-orc. And there are 5 purple outlined sailors around him. And the voice says, "If you are able to gain friendship with any one of these 8 individuals, you can turn up to 5 additional crew members with them." And then, it like shows like a stick figure of one of you guys walking up and like talking to one of the yellow people. And then there's like a big smiley face above everybody's head. And then he turns and talks to like one of the purple people. And all the purple people have smiley faces above their heads. And the voice is like, "But be warned, if you upset one of these 8. And then it like shows like unsmiley faces, and one of them's carrying like a scimitar. And all of the purple people start spreading across the ship. It's like, the consequences could be dire. And then the
Nice.
camera zooms in to the 5 of you standing around.
And well, I guess I will start introducing myself then.
Okay?
Anybody?
All right. So,
Who's actually got charisma in this bunch?
I think Rafi and Gravestone.
Anybody?
I do. I have a +10 diplomacy.
I have
there's an
myself
additional
muted. Yeah, I
detail
do.
to this. You
Okay.
can gain a bonus to speaking with the various crew officers if you are able to uncover and then perform a specific skill that they like. So you would use diplomacy to talk to crew members to find out more about what the different officers like, and then you would perform that skill to gain a bonus to speak with them in the future.
Okay.
And finally, according to my notes, because you recovered the Ravenhead statue for the ship, the first time you perform a diplomacy check towards Captain Verosa Lanteri, you get a +4 on it.
Oh, that'll give me all of a +1. Woohoo!
You have a -3? That's fucking rough, man. You might want to consider just letting Lorraine come here and deal with it for you guys.
I don't often do characters with a dump stat, but woohoo! I do it right.
I love the idea of your character, like, having these grimy teeth and, like, smoking some sort of horrible smelling pipe and sitting in, like, a corner hunched over, and he's like, "I don't always do dump stats, but when I do, I really go in for it." And someone walks by and is like, "Oh, God, you smell urine."
Let's face it, he's a bird. Imagine how messy that is on the ship.
Okay, so you said 8 people.
Yes, plus the
All right.
3 officers.
Right. Well, I guess
And that-
Rafi will go talk to some regular crew hands or something like that. Maybe when they're scrubbing the deck or something like that.
Okay,
Yeah, I do the same.
all right, let's see if I can find someone who's a crew hander.
Wow.
You rolled a 20 on your diplomacy.
Yep.
How the
Apparently
fuck
I
do we
don't-
have the same diplomacy score? That's crazy, dude.
Baby Dragon?
All right, so there is a master at arms that you could speak to, who would be what you might consider an average crew hand. There's a bosun, and there is a rigger. That's someone
Is
who
there-
works on the sails.
Is there any maybe like what about anyone who would have deal anything with animals or anything like that on the ship?
Interesting.
I gotta
You
talk to the
don't
ship.
know of anyone offhand. Maybe the scout. Scouts on pirate ships normally have relationships with albatrosses or something like that.
Hmm. Okay, I'll go
You
talk to the
could-
scout.
You could just talk to random NPCs and ask questions about people to see if you can learn more. Dom, what are you doing with your diplomacy?
I was doing the talk to random NPCs thing.
Okay, all right. So you get enough to learn 3 different pieces of information.
Okay.
I'll tell you what. Why don't you tell me what the name of the person you're talking to is and what their job is on the ship, and we'll work from there.
I don't know anybody's names. I only know.
You make it up right now. You know?
Oh, cool.
Who would your dragon friend talk to on a pirate ship?
Okay.
The guy
The
with the dragon
halfling-
tattoo on his face.
I was gonna say the Halfling Master Chef.
There's already a cook.
Oh,
Maybe a sous chef.
sure.
All right. Male or female?
Fancy boot.
Mm, male.
Okay. Good halfling name. Let me get my random name generator.
Ooh, can the last name be Applecore?
Yeah, sure. I guess his
That's a
name
very
is
specific request.
Yeah, his name is Junk Applecore. His pirate name is Junk.
Yeah, remember I name all my halflings now, which I have 4 in
Yeah.
society after Applecore. With a
So
K.
he has an incredibly deep voice for a halfling. So you'd normally expect him to be like, "Hey, what's up? I'm a halfling." But you approach him, he's like, "Hey, how's it going? Name's
How you
Junk
doing?"
Applecore. I'm the sous chef here. Perhaps you'd like some bolognese sauce? Perhaps some sous vide?"
I would like to sample your wares, sir, as I drink some.
So he's like, "You seem like a discerning connoisseur. Perhaps you'd like some of these incredibly rare and bloody steaks."
Don't mind if I do. As I just
So he's like, "Yes. I've never seen anything so horrifying in my entire life. You completely invalidate my profession.
So
I
he
like you, dragon."
just eats like a duck. He just swallows it. He doesn't even chew it.
So he tells you the following 3 things about crew members. Someone's writing this down, right?
yeah, I actually went to my
Right.
notes and like
So you speak for a time about things. Oh, I should use this quote. You speak for a time about things as men do.
Ben.
Oh, Sherlock Holmes, you're crazy. All right.
All right, 3
He
things.
says, yes, Yamtizi, you know, our bosun. She doesn't seem to like you that much, but you should know that she's been looking to get a specialized tattoo for some time. If someone was capable of giving her the tattoo she's always wanted, you might be able to turn her heart more towards you.
What does that require?
Craft tattoo check.
Okay.
You speak for a time more, and the subject comes up of elves, and he says, we have an elf on board, of course. It's our lookout, Zosrov. Yes, he doesn't care much for outsiders, but he does happen to like playing games of chance. If you were to lose a sizable sum of gold to him, or demonstrate that you too have equally keen eyesight as an elf, you would probably impress him quite a bit. And he says, even a dragon might be interested in this young woman, Alina. He loves the stars and tales of faraway places. He's our navigator and a follower of Desna. If you wish to get on her good side, provide her with charts, tales of distant lands, or perhaps, what he says is like knowledge geography check, basically.
yeah,
don't know
I
how
could
to
do
say
that.
Descriptions of foreign lands. There we go. She loves hearing about maps.
Which race was she?
She is half elf.
Okay, half elf.
And then he turns to you and says, "And that is not all I know, but that's all I'm willing to share with you at this time. We're not that close of a friend.
Yeah, man, it's
Besides,
fine.
I have a job to do."
Which
And
I
he gets
kind of
back to,
retcon.
like making cream of mushroom soup.
Yeah, I thank you, good sir, and I bow.
So
And I
I'm
fly
curious
away.
about 2 things, Arthur.
Yes.
The first one being the tattoo lady. Would she be impressed with seeing tattoos?
Yes. But
Because I have full body tattoos, if you remember correctly.
yes, you
Yeah.
might be impressed, and that might get you a circumstance bonus. But to get the permanent shift,
Yeah.
you either
And,
have to talk to her to impress her, or provide her with your unique special tattoo she's wanted all her life.
Yeah. And the other thing is the knowledge geography one. Is there a way that I could use knowledge planes?
Nope.
Okay.
I can do the knowledge geography. I've got an 8.
Okay, I have a 2 on that, but you can have that one. I could probably do the gambling one. Because I actually
So what do
have
you
a
need for
decent sense of
gambling? Is it literally just... Is there a gambling check? Or is that
Well,
a bluff check?
You could do
Might be a sleight of
gambling,
hand,
the
I can do
class.
that.
You can do, well, don't sleight of hand, don't cheat. Anyway, you could do the profession gamble. You got sense motive and you got bluff.
My bluff is 12.
So you'll be a good bluffer.
Yeah.
I want to be clear.
Decent at
You were
perception.
told you should
lose.
money to him on purpose.
No,
you wanna
we
be
have to
convincing
lose,
when
but
you
we
lose.
still has to be convincing. So you have to
Okay.
show some skill.
Yeah, that's not going to take a check. All you
Okay.
need to
I
do
could
is just-
probably do the perception check. I have a +9 to perception.
I'm plus 11 on perception. Bird skills.
Bird skills.
Would you guys like to know the jobs of the other people in case you were interested in that?
Sure.
Yes, please.
Sure.
Okay. Anatoly is the rigger. Belina, as you already know, navigator. Cobb is the cook. Doc Imogene is the surgeon. Horemheb is the master at arms. And Iulia Antonionia, quartermaster. Zosrov is the lookout. And Yamtizi is the bosun.
Who was the half-orc you mentioned earlier?
The half-orc. There are a number of half-orcs. The female
The one-
half-orc is named Yamtizi. The
Okay.
male half-orc is named Anatoly, and that's the rigger.
What does the rank of bosun do again?
Bosun isn't really a rank. It's more of a description of a job. So a bosun is like a senior crew member who repairs ships and stuff.
Are there any gunners or siege specialists on that list?
Nope. Ship doesn't have that many guns. You
Mm.
can speak to
Okay.
the master at arms.
I missed one of those. I have Anatoly, Cobb, Imogene, Zokarov, and
Actually,
surgeon.
I'm
Doc
curious.
somebody.
Yamtizi, Doc Imogene, Horemheb, Iulia Antonionia.
and who is Horemheb?
Horemheb is the master at arms.
I'm curious as to what particular sort of armaments we're working with here.
All right. Gonna make me have to look up the ship, huh?
Yeah, making you do that.
They have 2 light ballistas.
That'll do in a pinch.
The ballistas have 30 bolts next to them each, and 4 alchemist fire bolts, which are literally terrifying.
Alchemist 5 volts. Well then, that'll do nicely. Should we run into trouble?
Wow. So here's the thing, Dan. I think if you roll a 1 while shooting those, they explode on your deck. And so if you have multiple next to each other, they start chain exploding and everyone dies.
Wow.
Keep Dan
Bad
away from
thing.
those things, please.
Point at
Yeah.
Dan. No disintegration.
That
Whoa.
is definitely
That's
definitely-
Actually,
That's
maybe
why
we
you
should keep
keep
Craig
them-
away from
I
them.
was fixing to say, if y'all think about it, he said roll a 1, not make
Yeah.
bad decisions.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
true.
fucking ice, right?
Ugh.
So
Just
yeah, I'm not
raging.
firing those anytime soon.
Am I able to bluff to pretend I have a skill in something else?
I don't think so.
Like maybe I can.
How
like,
would that work? Describe
well-
how that would work.
Okay, for example, if I can use a bluff checks to talk about like lands that I've seen to impress the navigator, for example.
Hey, Craig, can you do me a favor?
Mhm.
Can you copy and paste the names in, what's the name of Skype, where I can just add them into the Peril and Plunder sheet?
So it's basically
I'm
like
not going to
talking
guarantee
big enough.
anything about spelling.
talking vague enough, like
Yeah,
a
close enough.
politician, to use a lot of like positive sentences to spread goodwill, hinting that you've been to certain places without giving the details.
I love the idea of this. Like, Rafi's like, yeah. Mountains. There are these incredible mountains in the south. And someone's like, there's an ocean to the south. He's like, to the southeast.
You don't know where I was talking about
Yeah.
from south.
I would
That's
let
the
you
funny
use the
thing
bluff
about
check to
it.
do this, but at a pretty heavy penalty, probably at least a -5, if not more. Because that's built into the bluff. Like, if you're bluffing about something that's not very believable.
Okay, because I don't think there's a lot I can do to help the party right now.
Well,
I mean,
the thing you probably can do is you're good at diplomacy, right?
yeah, good at diplomacy.
Okay,
yeah.
so these skills, if you perform them, they just give a +4 to all future diplomacy checks.
Oh, okay.
So in order to shift the attitudes, you have to like go up to them and be like, "Hey, what's up? Work out?" You have to
Yeah,
make
I
the
mean-
diplomacy checks to bump them up through the ranks.
Okay, yeah, sure. What about, like, is there a way to just be useful rather than make friends? Is that, do anything for the crew? Like, if you particularly, like, for example, the quartermarsh, if you go there and you, like, you know, do their job for them, for example, or
But,
something like
they're
that.
already doing their job.
If you help.
Yeah.
Let me think about that one.
Yeah. Okay.
Anybody else got anything? Oh, I'm thinking.
I'm actually gonna help the lookout guy scout since I have the dragon sense thing.
Well, you've done your thing for the day, right? Your action was
Oh yeah,
talking to
talk to
random crew
people.
members.
Gotcha. That sounds good. Forgot about
Yeah.
that. I do so
Um,
much in the day.
can I talk to the other people to work out about the other
Yeah,
crew
sure.
members?
You just
Yeah.
make a diplomacy check to speak with random crew members.
I feel like that might actually be more useful. Okay.
What's up? What was his name? Was it Peter that was in Everyone is John?
Peter.
Peter? Was it Peter?
Oh, Peter, yeah.
Krogan Gray?
Yeah, Krogan,
Right?
yeah.
Try not to get it wrong, but of course the fact I have to ask means...
Yeah.
What's up, man? I
Hey, Krogan.
kind of remembered.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see the diplomacy check. Alright, so you get one piece of information. Tell me who you talk to on the ship. Who's this random crew member you speak to?
Okay. Well, I'm gonna, like, if there is anyone who's maybe like a gossip or something, like if I spy someone who's like, you know, spreading rumors or something like
Yeah,
that.
sure.
I'll
What's
probably
this
talk to
person's
him.
name?
Let's say Jogan 4.
Dogan for. Alright. Yeah, I mean, this guy's like at the front end of the ship. He's like leaning. Everybody else is cleaning. He's leaning up against the rail. He's like, and that's how I became prince of that island.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, get to work, Jogan for. And he sees you walking up. He's like, just a second, my good buddy Rafi's here. He's like, Rafi, how are you doing?
I am Rafi is Rafi is fine.
So, in the process, you know, you guys talk for a little while, and the Master at Arms comes over.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't checked out the fan art for the Stars Without Numbers campaign yet, you should definitely watch it on our YouTube. And then look at the video descriptions where the fan art is at, because these guys are all, like, incredibly swole.
Yeah.
Just all, like, fucking cut as shit. This guy looks like that. He's a well-built Osirian man with an immaculately kept beard. And, Dogenfor is like, hey, buddy, you outrank Homenheb, right? He's only the Master of Arms. You're an officer, right, buddy?
I do believe Rafi is an officer, yes.
He's like, well, Rafi, turns out he is not easy to get to laugh. I've only managed to do it once. If you can get him to laugh with a perform check, oh, he's going to break down cracking in laughter. And then Homenhab starts walking over. He's like, Yogan 4, it's time to get back to work.